Welcome back, horror fans. With the news over the weekend that they canceled the Chucky TV series, I thought this would be a great time to take a look back at the entire franchise. And I didn't want to just throw all my favorite kills from like one or two or three movies. I wanted to look at the entire franchise. So I limit myself to one kill per movie and one kill per season of the TV show, which was fairly difficult. There's a lot of kills in the TV show. But this is my top 11 Chucky franchise kills. Is it the best kills? Definitely there's some ones that I wanted to include that I didn't because I had to limit myself to one per movie. But this is a really good look at his entire body of work, something from every single movie, good and bad, and I ranked them against each other. So let's get to it. Kicking off my list at number 11 is Trevors Death in season 2. Now, Trevor was introduced as an altar boy at the Catholic Reform School that our heroes are attending, and we find out that he was a bully to Lexi, and we're not supposed to like this guy. We don't like this guy, and we're just waiting for Chucky to put an end to this character. And what we get is a buff version of Chucky. There's multiple Chuckies out there now, and they're living their own lives. This one got addicted to working out apparently and got really big, and he punches a hole through Trevor. It's a really fun, creative scene, and it deserves a nod. Is this season the beginning of a downward trajectory for the series? Many people think yes, and ended up getting canceled. So obviously, a lot of people didn't love the direction when Chucky started splitting himself, tens, 20, 30 times. But it allowed Mancini to have some really creative kills, and this is one of them. Number 10 is going to be Aunt Maggie's death in the original Child's Play. Now, this is Chucky's first kill as the killer doll, and this is really a slow burn. A lot of intense build up. We're waiting for something to happen before the hammer comes down and smacks her in the face, and she plunges out a sixth-story window to her death. It's a classic fall kill. It's really well done, really well directed. I love, again, the suspense, the fact that we're waiting, and then bam, jump scare. It's a really good kill. It feels a little weird to have it this low on the list, but there are a lot of better kills in the franchise. This one just is noteworthy because it was the first. Number 9 comes from one of my favorite movies in the franchise, Child's Play 2, and it's the factory worker. Apparently, the only factory worker working in the climax of this movie. We've got Kyle and Andy running around this fully functional, fully operating warehouse making, good guy dolls. We've got one lone worker, and unfortunately, he comes out to try to clear a machine, ends up getting his head pressed and some doll eyes put where his real eyes should be. It's a really cool, really quick kill. It's memorable. Definitely stuck with me long after this movie ended, but it's one of my favorite movies, one of my favorite kills of the entire franchise. Number 9, the poor worker just trying to bring home some money. Wrong place, wrong time, my friend. Number 8 is Detective Payton's death in Chucky season 1. Now, Detective Payton was in Caroline's hospital room, and he's just devouring all this little girl's candy. And I don't think Chucky liked that too much. He had to listen to this guy eat with his mouth open, dripping crumbs all over him. So he hits this mofo in the spine with a scalpel, and it's just the candor. It's the
Can't move.
That's because I hit your spinal cord.
It's just he's so Chucky about this kill, and then he turns it around and gives this guy one of the most like disgusting, revolting deaths ever by grabbing these used needles, double fisting him, and just ramming him in his chest. So we get a perfect amount of Chucky comedy to gross out. Holy crap! I can't believe I just watched that. It's a great mix. Definitely deserves a spot on this list. It's my favorite kill from season 1 by far. Number 7 is a kill that disturbed me so much as a kid, and it's the no-name garbage truck driver from Child's Play 3 who gets stuck in the back of his own truck. After Chucky is thrown out, he uses his natural-sounding voice to, call for help, and the guy just thinks that there's a kid or somebody stuck in this, garbage truck, so he jumps in to save him. He's trying to be a hero, and actually Chucky climbs out, pulls the lever, gets the guy stuck in the back of his own truck. And we don't see a lot, which actually works. The guy gets his arm stuck, but what we hear is scary. They do show us, the tooth turning rotors. I don't know what the hell they're called, but we can imagine what's about to happen to this man. If he doesn't get smushed to death, he's going to get chewed up to death. It's not ideal. And it was pretty disturbing for a younger me, and it stuck with me long after the movie ended. So It's my favorite kill of the movie other than Chucky's death at the end. And I don't count that because these are not Chucky deaths, these are Chucky kills or people that are associated with him killing people. Number 6 is going to feature guest star Kenan Thompson. It comes from Chucky season 3, and he plays a taxi driver who is driving around Caroline and Chucky and begins to be disturbed by the things that he's hearing coming from the back seat. So he pulls over, orders them to get out, and then Chucky just rips down his seat and proceeds to shove a umbrella straight down his throat. It's a decent mix of practical and CGI effects. It looks okay, I suppose. It's not the realest looking kill, but it's definitely going to get a reaction out of you. And then when he pops the umbrella open and bursts out his throat, he gives the one-liner.
Is that 7 years bad luck?
I thought that was mirrors.
Another one that does a really good job of making me laugh and kind of making you feel a little whoa. But it's certainly not a scary kill. It's put here for our enjoyment, and enjoy it I did. Number 5 is going to come from the Child's Play remake. I know we have to include this one. It is a Child's Play movie, even though it probably shouldn't have been. But the shtick to this movie, if you've never seen it, if you've avoided it, is that Chucky in this movie is a robot. He's not a possessed killer. He's actually a robot. He's an android doll, and he can connect via Bluetooth to various, household devices, and he uses that to his advantage on quite a few occasions to, get what he wants or even kill a few people. And this is the best, I think, example of him using those powers to, hurt somebody and torture somebody to great lengths. And it's the pervert janitor who is peeping in on, everybody in the building, but we watch him peeping in on Mrs. Barkley, and Buddy doesn't like that. He doesn't like that at all. So he rises up, he gets a couple slashes in. The guy ends up hanging from a pipe with a bandsaw or table saw below him, and he turns the freaking water temperature up so that it burns his hand. So it's a really cool, again, creative kill. I have to give him props for that. This kill was fairly decent. The movie probably needed a new name. It did not have to piggyback off of Child's Play. I think that's most people's problem with it. But this was a fairly decent kill, and I enjoyed it, so it's number 5. Number 4 features icon John Waters as sleazy paparazzi photographer Pete Peters in Seed of Chucky. Now, picking a kill in probably everybody's least favorite Child's Play Chucky movie was not easy. Most of these are fairly forgettable, but this one is memorable. It's the only kill that I can remember from the movie without going back and watching it, and it doesn't even really happen other than by him again. Kind of reminds me of the heart attack kill in part 3. That's what I was thinking of. Child's Play 3, when the guy sees Chucky and has a heart attack. This is similar to that. It might even be a naughty. I don't know if he did it on intentionally, but Pete Peters sees Glenn and is startled back into a wall of acid. He falls down. The bottle falls on his face. It starts to melt away. It's a decent effect, but really just the shock value of it. I didn't expect that to happen.
Thought you weren't ready, kid. You're a fucking natural.
And I had to pick something from this movie. I think this is easily the best one, and it's a pretty solid kill. I give it a nice nod because it features John Waters, again, a kind of horror slop icon. So having him in this movie, wanting to watch that guy die because he was a sleazeball through most of the movie, gives it some bonus points, and I'm going to put it in the 4 spot. I like it. Number 3 is going to come from Curse of Chucky. Now, this movie absolutely revitalized the franchise. We needed this. We needed a more serious, intense Chucky Child's Play movie, and this one gave it to us. Curse of Chucky was amazing. We kind of thought it was a soft reboot, and then you have the reveal scene where the woman's picking off his prosthetic face, and you see these, the sutures, the stitches, and we realize, oh my God, this is a continuation. This is the same story. And then Chucky, not wanting to be discovered, uses Nika as a battering ram and knocks Ian off his ass, and then he grabs an axe and then chops his lower jaw off. It's one of the gnarliest kills that Chucky's ever done, and that's saying something because the dude's got a hell of a track record. But I enjoy the effect. I enjoy the still shot after of him lying there with just his tongue. I think it's a decent enough effect. I think it's a solid kill. I don't know why I wanted this guy to die so bad. I haven't seen this movie in a little while. I don't remember him being super douche. I know they were trying to make it seem like he was the one having the affair. Turns out it was the wife and the nanny, so maybe I just don't like his face. I don't know. But anyway, it was a satisfying kill, and I enjoyed it, so it's top 3. Number 2 comes from Cult of Chucky, and I absolutely know why I wanted this douchebag to die. It's Dr. Foley. He is a predator. He uses his position of power to exploit people. So who's worse than that? You don't want to see a guy like that get any kind of good times. You want to see nothing but bad comeuppance. And Chucky, in Nika's body at this point, gives him exactly what he deserves, a very horrific death. It's super satisfying to watch. It's almost got my number 1 spot, but it's definitely memorable, violent, vicious, and very much earned. Number 2, Dr. Foley. You deserved it, buddy. Number 1 comes from Bride of Chucky, and it's Chief Warren Kincaid's death. And it's not actually Chucky that does it, so that's a little bit ironic. He's not the one that's actually doing it. He is present, but it's Tiffany. This is Tiffany showing Chucky how you can be creative in your ways of dispatching people. And Kincaid is getting in the van to try to plant drugs to frame his daughter and her boyfriend. And you've seen the movie, you understand what's going on. But I absolutely love this death, not only because it happens super fast, it has a great effect, and it also features one of my favorite actors, the late John Ritter. One of my favorite actors. I love this guy. So I'm not saying I loved watching him die, but he's so good. He's so good in the movie at being a detestable prick. It was satisfying to see it happen. Again, I love the creativity. We didn't get a lot of stuff before this that wasn't just Chucky stabbing people. So this is kind of the start of the more creative, path that the franchise went on. To some people's, like, some people maybe not like so much, but I was a fan. I was a fan of this kill. I love this movie, and this is my favorite kill of the franchise. But guys, that's my list. Again, are these the top 11 best kills? No, there were a couple honorable mentions. I love in part 3 when the barber gets his throat cut. That's a great kill.
Presto, you're dead.
Again, I love the heart attack kill from that one too because Chucky doesn't do anything. In part 2, I love when he trips the foster dad and pretty much gives him a taste of his own medicine because he hooked Chucky down a freaking staircase, so he throws him down a staircase.
How's it hanging, Phil?
And there's a lot of kills that I enjoyed, but I didn't want to just have nothing but like part 2 and Bride of Chucky, my favorite movies, nothing but that on this list. I wanted to try to give appreciation to the entire franchise, seeing as how we don't know if we're going to see anymore. I'm sure we will. I doubt that Don Mancini's going to let the franchise die after a canceled TV show. He's been doing it for, 37 years now, something like that. So I'm sure we will see Chucky. He always comes back. But until next time, be good people, be good to each other. We'll see you then.